Greetings and welcome. Hey, once again, here we are, another episode of Old Soul Essentials with me, Giuseppe, your card-carrying, bona fide old soul. Today, I am timing myself to make this video because apparently it's impossible for me to make a video that's short. This is take number 6. First one I left some things out. The second one I thought was too long at 20 minutes. Then the third one I had some technical difficulties. My dog was barking. The fourth take, my phone rang and ran out of memory. The fifth take was over a half hour and my phone ran out of memory again. So here is take number 6, I think, and I'm really trying not to get frustrated. I feel like I've had some good footage on this particular video so far, but here I am. I'm doing a brand new one, and I'm gonna keep this. I'm really gonna keep this one short. So forgive me if I seem like I'm rushing a little bit. I guess I'm just slow. It's one thing. If anybody that really knows me knows that I'm pretty much slow with just about everything. And so my last video, I was a noteless freak, if you remember. Today I'm gonna try and utilize some notes to try and stay on track a bit. I will also do the best I can with the volume of the video and my voice. I am at a kind of near a truck stop right now, so if you hear traffic and stuff, that's what's going on. Not that you care, any of that even matters. And I've got the doors open. The first few takes I had all the windows closed and my door closed, so it was quiet in here. But it's really hot because I'm down south right now. Hence why I'm not wearing a shirt. In the first few videos I was wearing a shirt too, but I'm like, screw it, I don't care. I'm gonna be comfortable when I make this video. So, enough preamble. Today's focus is don't hold back. When you hold back, you are being preventative of yourself. You are preventing yourself either from doing things as intensely as you could do them, or you're preventing yourself from just doing something at all. You're just putting up a brick wall from just doing something. Other times maybe you're allowing yourself to do something, but you're still holding back and you're not doing it fully. So it's like you're being a diet version of yourself. You're being the skim milk version of yourself, the decaf version of yourself. Like me, I don't want to be Giuseppe Light, L-I-T-E, light. I want to be full on, full flavor Giuseppe. And yeah, when you hold back, you're stifling yourself. You're putting a cap on who you are, on your overall being. Any and everything that you say, that you do, you're mitigating that. It's like you could be operating and being yourself up here at 100% full you, but a lot of the times, and I've been guilty of this, most people, we cap ourselves. We mitigate who we are. We mitigate our being to down here instead of up here. We could be fully expanded, but oftentimes, sometimes we might be fully expanded, but then we go into this other situation where it's not really necessary, but we will just shrink right down and minimize ourselves and mitigate our being, stifle ourselves. We'll hold back and put caps on, and like I said, we'll just be like diet decaf versions of ourselves. And that prevents a lot of other things from happening. Prevents how much fun we can have. It prevents how much we can learn from an experience. and I could go on and on about that. So one specific example of holding back, that here's one situation, and this scenario, this model can kind of apply to almost anything in life, really. But one of my side gigs is doing the typewriter sidewalk poet for hire thing, where people get custom poems, and a lot of people will ask me, how do you get out of writer's block, or what do you do when you get writer's block? And I basically tell them, you just keep writing. Well, obviously, duh. On the surface, it is that simple, and it seems like a no-brainer. But I guess understanding the mechanism of how and why we get writer's block, it helps to be able to keep writing again. And what I tell people is, usually writer's block almost always happens because we're in the flow, we're writing and writing and writing, and it's going good. We're liking it. Every thought we're having about it is, hey, I like this. I'm happy with how it's going. And then we get to a point where, boom, everything changes, and the next idea that we have on deck in our heads, we've already got an idea ready for the next thing to write. It's on deck. We know what it is, but we look at it, and then we get self-critical. We second guess ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust the process. We hold back. We hold back and we stop writing, and then we start searching and looking for a better replacement, a better word or sentence, or we try to think of something that is much better than the idea we currently have. That's what writer's block is. Maybe I'll close my door. It's not quite so loud. I keep the windows open. Okay. So yeah, it's writer's block usually stems from just being too self-conscious, being too self-critical. I mean, it's one thing to be reflecting on what you're writing as you're writing, but if you tip the scale, then you just stop writing completely, and now you're just sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, what do I write? Meanwhile, you're coming up with ideas. Maybe this, here's an idea, here's an idea, here's an idea, but none of them are ever good enough. You shoot them all down. So it's like, you could keep writing. You could write any one of these ideas down. You could have wrote the first idea down, but you get it in your head and it blows up, and you think it's got to be absolutely perfect and just right. And until you get that just right, until you get that perfect line or word, you're not going to settle. And all the while, you're not writing. You're stuck in writer's block. So what I tell people is, just doesn't matter what you think of writing when you're in writer's block. Just, even if you think it sounds stupid or dumb, silly, whatever, you don't like it, just write it. Just write it so that you can get past that hiccup, and then you can get back into the flow of writing, and you'll get back into the groove. And you can always go back and edit. You can always go back and change. You may look back after the fact, and then your feelings might change on what you wrote. You might actually like it. It might grow on you. Or regardless of whether your feelings change on it or not, maybe you share this piece of writing with somebody, and they get to the part that you don't like, and they read the whole thing, and they don't even notice it. They love what you wrote from start to finish. They love it. And that's very common with artists, musicians, creative people. When we create things, a lot of times things that we're not really satisfied with or proud of, and we just plain, maybe we just hate it. Ironically, that's the piece that everybody just loves and goes gaga over. Like, oh, I just love this. I love it so much. But it's like, that's the painting that the artist hated the most that they ever did. For instance, I'm a Dave Matthews Band fan, I'll admit, and if you know, there's an album called the Lillywhite Sessions, and the band was really, really bummed out when that got leaked. It was an unfinished album. Think of it like an unfinished painting. An artist doesn't want anyone to see a painting until it's finished, right? So that album for them was like that. I mean, technically all the songs were done. They were complete songs, but it wasn't polished up and up to their standards, up to their perfection, up to their par standards. And so when it got leaked, they were really bummed out about that. And probably a little embarrassed. That's not how they wanted people to hear them. But I don't know anybody that doesn't like that album. And that's one of my favorite albums. And they ended up remaking that album, and I actually like the original better than the remake. So you can't hold back. When you hold back, you're just getting in your own way. I've said it already. Singers, this is extremely prevalent with singers, using your voice. When a singer sings, holding back is pretty much the worst thing they can do. The only other thing that's as bad as holding back is having tension and being nervous, because that strains your vocal cords and messes up how your voice comes out. But other than being nervous and having tension, holding back and just being a little timid with your voice and not having that confidence, that brazen, I don't care, I'm belting it out as hard as I can. That's when the singing is usually the most beautiful, even if it's rough. Because if you're really giving it the full throttle, full bore, you're all without holding back, even if it's rough, where you're putting so much intensity into it, you're probably going to hit the notes for the most part, and it's going to sound honest. It's going to sound real. It's going to have a quality of very real, it's just going to have a quality that singing doesn't have when you hold back. So you can apply this pretty much anywhere in life, anything that you're trying to do or want to do, whether it's with doing something creative, writing, singing, writing a song, starting a band, starting a YouTube channel, speaking your mind to someone, giving them a piece of your mind, giving them your 2 cents, being assertive, standing up for yourself, standing up for someone else. These are all times where the last thing you want to do is hold back at all. Now, granted, you want to be courteous and civil, but you can still be very intense and be respectful. Intensity doesn't have to mean aggression. The flavor of a cheesecake, a really good cheesecake is very intense. It's very rich and it's delicious. It's sweet. But compared to like a Weight Watchers diet cheesecake, it's not the same. It's not even close. One is much more satisfying than the other. So you need to be like the cheesecake, the non-Weight Watchers cheesecake, just just rich, unleashed, 100%. Like I said, I am using notes a little bit to try and stay on track here. And I know the time. I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm coming up on 15 minutes. If you're still watching, thank you. And if you've been tuning in at all to my channel, that's really cool. It says a lot about you. It says that you care about yourself. You care about other people. If you're watching my videos, it's implied that you're a pretty kind, decent person. So give yourself credit for that. Hopes and dreams, things that you hope for, dreams that you have, ideas that you have for goals. Don't hold back with those. Set big goals, set big dreams. The cliche, shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars, There's truth to that. There's wisdom in that. Part of not holding back is, if I haven't said it already, it's trusting yourself. It's being confident. It's not caring, or at least not caring too much about what other people say or about what that little voice in here is saying. I think it's good to listen to the brain sometimes, or at least consider what the brain is saying. But mostly, I think it's better to listen to your heart and to your gut. They are much more in tune with the vibe than your brain is. Your brain likes to complicate things and trick you, and it's convinced of all these things that really aren't so. So yeah, if you're talking to someone, conversation, giving advice, talking to your wife or your husband or your child, your girlfriend, a best friend, if they say something and then you just feel compelled and passionate to respond in a certain way, and you're not sure if they might be offended or take it the wrong way or get mad at you, usually use your discretion, and it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk to not hold back and say what you really feel like in the bottom of your heart, like you feel like you need to say something. Of course, giving unsolicited advice is always tricky and a very slippery slope and can backfire quickly and easily. So it's like, balance. As I've said, always use your discretion. Any guidance and advice that I throw at you, always practice discretion. There's always two sides to every coin. There's always exceptions to the rule. So you don't always want to not hold back. You don't always want to just be fully unleashed. Sometimes, to varying degree, you want to hold back a little bit. Maybe you want to hold back about halfway. Maybe you want to hold back all the way. Maybe in certain situations, the wisest thing for you to do is to hold back completely. So if you realize that holding back 100% is what you should be doing, don't hold back from that. Don't hold back from holding back. There's a saying that goes something like, it's why be like a candle? I hate that noise. I'll be glad when every car is electric and you just don't hear anything but the birds and the trees rustling, the leaves and the breeze. Maybe I'm just getting old, but that's such a racket and I hate it. I digress. What was I saying? This video is getting long now. I feel like I'm talking as fast as I can and saying as little about every point, but I just cannot make a short video. I can't do it, apparently. Hopefully you're okay with that. Where was I? Yeah, don't hold back from holding back. Use your discretion with anything I share with you. I lost where I was, so I'm just going to pick something else. The saying, why be like a candle and be like hopeful that a little draft or breeze doesn't blow you out? Why be like that? And instead, why not be like a raging bonfire and I dare the world to put me out? Makes sense, right? Other simple sayings that embody this idea, you might have heard them. Dance like no one's watching. When someone's dancing like no one's watching, that means they're not holding back. They are not There are no fucks being given about what anybody thinks, but most importantly, there's no fucks being given about what they think of themselves. Sometimes it's not other people that we're so worried about, it's ourselves. We're worried about, we are our own worst critic, our own worst bully. We bully ourselves. So Dance Like No One's Watching is embodying the don't hold back philosophy. Or maybe you've heard write like no one's going to read it. When you do that, when you write like no one's going to read something, you have this freedom to write whatever the hell you want, whether it's stupid or sad or intimate or raunchy or gross or whatever it is. You can write anything you want because no one's going to read it, and that's where you're going to get your best writing, because you're going to write honestly and candidly and without holding back. You're not going to be holding back, and that is the key. So you can extend that to your life. Live your life like no one cares about what you do or don't do. Live your life like no one cares about who you are or what you're doing. Simplify it. When you hold back, you are essentially, rather, when you hold back and it's not necessary or you don't have a good reason to. Sometimes we need to hold back because it's polite or fair for someone. But otherwise, if you hold back, you're half-assing. It's like you are this being that, without holding back, you're up here. Without holding back, you're fully expanded like this. If you hold back and you're keeping yourself down here, no one else is, you're keeping yourself down here, or you're keeping yourself like this, you're literally half-assing your life. You are literally just not being as much you as you could be. You're being a lesser version of you. And why? So if I haven't said it already, maybe that's something you can do, is sit down and reflect and think about that. Why am I half-assing who I am? Why am I holding back from doing this thing, or saying these things, or being this way? Why am I holding back? Who am I holding back for? Is holding back doing anything good for me? Is it serving me? So I guess I'll end on this note here. What if Jesus held back? What if he prevented himself from standing up for what he believed in and thought was right? What if Rosa Parks was holding back when she had the courage to do what she did? Sometimes not holding back means being courageous, means being brave. It means being scared and afraid, but doing something despite that. That's bravery, that's courage. And that's one way of not holding back. Give yourself more allowances. Give yourself more permission. Give yourself more freedom. Give yourself more power by not holding back as much as you may have been throughout your life. The second you start practicing it, the easier it gets. And the sooner you start, the sooner you're going to be good at it. What if Jimi Hendrix held back while he's playing guitar? I mean, it just would not, there would be no Jimi Hendrix. There would be no Slash if these guys were on stage holding back, like timid, afraid to play too loud or play some notes that might sound bad, or play a riff that people aren't going to like. No, you cannot hold back. When you do that, you are your own worst enemy, and you're getting in your own way. If I haven't said it already, I'm probably repeating myself and being redundant now, and I can see I'm coming up on 25 minutes, and this video is going to cut off soon because my phone cuts off at a half hour. So that's it for today. So much for a short video, but hey, if you watched this long, I guess that means you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope, even if it's the littlest tiny thing that clicked for you, helped to inspire you or encourage you, or just give you a little reality check and wake up call that you need to friggin' stop holding back. You need to just go for it, full bore, full throttle, and I think you'll be surprised at the results. So, like and subscribe, and if you feel compelled, leave a comment about anything. Say hi, feedback, criticism, maybe share some little anecdote about something, a time you've struggled with holding back, or wins that you've had with just going for it with something. Anyway, I hope you will tune in again. Always plenty more to come. And yeah, so much love to you. You are beautiful, and you are rad. Like I said, the fact that you tune into these videos at all says a lot about you. You're a good person. So I'm doing good. I hope you're feeling good, and enjoy your day. Bye.